I was given the opportunity, and I think, again, publicly, Prosecutor McDonald and her staff, but especially Mark Keese, who was in the room with me, to show me the video that we still haven't gotten. And we're working on what's called a protective order, and I want you all to know, because you all, we've talked about exchanging information. Anything that's not protected, I will always share with the press. It is important that you folks know the truth, and just as much as my clients know the truth. But it's been difficult for a lot of reasons that I won't bore you with today that you already know. But I went and saw the video with the assistance of the prosecutor. Now, mind you, I've had 15 minutes with it. Not that they were timing me, but that's how much I took. And there were screens with like 30 different, views, if you will, in the school. So I scribbled down as much as I could. But one of the things that I found out that I can tell you I didn't know about, and more importantly, our clients didn't know about, was the involvement of Kimberly Potts, P-O-T-T-S, who was an Oxford Community School security guard. Let me repeat, security guard. Now, she was employed there. She was armed. She had a gun. She had a body camera. Just what you'd expect from a security person, and I know that none of you have heard anything about her, because what you're going to hear today is why she's being, we are seeking her addition to our lawsuit. Ms. Potts, as I told you, was a security guard who was on duty and had her standard weapons and instruments that I just told you about. And what she ultimately did was, when the shots rang out at 12:51, she apparently, according to what she has told the investigators, she was confused because she heard on the radio that there was Alice drill. And if you want to know what an Alice drill is, even though I think most of us know, you could do what I did last night and speak to my 12-year-old, because that's what they have now. Alice drills to prepare for a school shooting. So for whatever reason, and we all know that if she's a security guard, she would be told in advance that there's an Alice drill coming up, just like the students are told this is a drill, so they don't freak out and think it's the real thing. But they tell them we're supposed to act like it's the real thing, so we practice, okay? Well, apparently Ms. Potts was confused that day and thought it was a drill. What I don't know, and what we need to find out, is exactly what she did for the next 4 minutes. Because the one thing that we can certainly all agree on is she did not run and find Ethan Crumbley in the hallway. And we know that Ethan, when Crumbley came out of bathroom 1, I'll call it, he shot a number of people. And I won't comment any more on that. And then he walked through the hallways and inflicted more harm, ultimately on a teacher in a classroom that he shot through the door, ultimately on Tate Mere, and then ultimately in what I'll call bathroom 2, where he shot and killed Justin Schilling. And Keegan Gregory was in there as well, and luckily Keegan ran out just before or after Justin was shot, and thank God was not shot, but obviously was scared, as anybody would understand. Technically speaking, what we've done is we filed a motion to amend our lawsuit. We called them a complaint. This is the 4th time, 4th amended complaint. And I tell you that because I keep telling you folks, after 36 years of practice, this case has new things. I don't think I've ever had to change my complaint 4 times ever in a lawsuit. I don't think. It is highly unusual. And the reason why is because we keep finding out new things like every day because of the lack of transparency, in particular of Oxford Community Schools. They should have told these folks and their constituents what happened, so they knew what happened, but they didn't. They've said nothing, and they continue to say nothing. They still have done no investigation, and they're not going to, and when they do, you watch, they're going to try to keep it from the public and try to hide it from us. What we now know is this: when the shots rang out at 12:51, ultimately we know that Ms. Potts walked down the hallway where ultimately she found Tate Meir. Obviously, on the end, I have Trent Meir, Tate's brother, older brother, and Buck Meir, Tate's dad. And I'm sorry to have to talk about this in front of you. Tate had already been shot. He was on the ground. Ms. Potts told the investigators that when she looked at Tate, she thought, boy, this Alice drill, they're really using good makeup. Good makeup. So she walked past Buck Meir, Tate Meir, and walked down toward the bathroom. In the bathroom, with 100% certainty, bathroom 2 was Justin Schilling, was Keegan Gregory, two-stall bathroom. They were both hiding behind the door, and then in came Crumley. Moments later, we, on the video, can see Potts, after she left Tate, for some reason she told investigators, it now dawned on me, even though she said she thought it was good makeup, it dawned on her that this must be real, even though what the evidence is going to prove that she should have known and did know was real the whole time. She walked down the hallway and directly went to bathroom 2. Why? We don't know that yet, but my belief, the evidence will be that she was told that that's where Crumley was. She went to the bathroom door, she pulled the door open, and then all you see is her shutting the door and then walking down the hallway. She had her gun in her hand, so she knew. She told investigators that she didn't even look in the bathroom, didn't even know why she was opening the door really, and didn't hear anything. And what we're going to prove in this case, folks, when we go in and take photos of the bathroom to prove that which should be obvious to all of us, anybody would have seen 3 young men in that bathroom because Justin Schilling was still alive and there had been no shot in that bathroom yet. When she shut the door, you can tell by the video that there must have been a shot. I couldn't hear it. There's no sound on these. But ultimately, we see Keegan running out, and we see folks going to the bathroom. They clearly heard the shot. And that's when Crumley came out. Crumley had his COVID mask on his face. He put his handgun on top of a garbage can, got on his knees, and raised his hands. Ultimately, 2 sheriff deputies came and ultimately arrested him, got him down, and handcuffed him right then and there. So what we believe we've asked Judge Chabot in our pleadings that we filed today, please let us amend, change, add information to our lawsuit yet again so that we can add Ms. Potts as a party defendant, is what we call it. So she is now a member of the Oxford folks that include the teachers, EJAC, Fine, and Hopkins, who we all know had interaction on that Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th. And now she is yet another Oxford community person. So Oxford Community Schools, you will recall, is already a party to our litigation. We talked about that last week. This is one of the first cases in probably 3 decades where a judge has allowed us to sue them when they are absolutely blanketly immunized. They are barred from being sued, and Judge Chabot granted our motion knowing full well that we are taking governmental immunity head on in this case because it's wrong and it's unfair and it makes people that work for our government have rights and privileges far above the rest of us, that no one's above the law. And so we've already sued them, and we've had allegations of them being responsible for all those other folks, but now for Potts as well. What should Potts have done? Well, folks, she was a 20-some year Oakland County Sheriff deputy. The second that she heard shots, the second that she was told that there's a shooter, we all know, sadly, through Uvalde, Texas, what the protocol is now. And that is, you draw your weapon and you go. You go to the shooter to try to confront them to end the shooting one way or another. And it shouldn't have taken 4 minutes for her to find him in this school. Shots only coming from one place. Number two, when she got, and if we believe, and the evidence will show, that had she done that right away and done her job appropriately, then there would have, after those initial shots, there would have been no more. Please recall that Crumley voluntarily surrendered to police without a shot, put his gun down when he saw the police coming at him with a gun, and we're going to prove other things in this case, like that he was never going to confront police, and we'll talk more about that later. Number two, had Potts done her job and gone in the bathroom, it's called clearing the room. Something, sadly, that we all have seen in movies and television now probably every day. Clearing means a security officer or a police officer literally goes in and looks through everything to try to make sure there's no one in there that's trying to hide or prevent them from detecting them. Had she done that, clearly there would have been Crumley with his gun. So we believe that had she done her job, there would have been at least the death of Justin prevented for sure, and Keegan from having to see what he saw in that room. So the steps are as follows. Now that we have filed this motion, Ken Cara and Jeff Stewart of our office, we've noticed the motion for as soon as possible. We're hoping that gets before Judge Chabot next Wednesday. There is a possibility it gets pushed over to the following Wednesday. We will certainly keep you advised of that. This is not a very contentious situation. The other side will not agree to it, but this is something that judges typically grant because it's still early in the case, and Judge Chabot understands that we're not given access to everything yet, so this is unfortunately one of the byproducts of that. So it is our high expectation that she will grant this motion and allow us to therefore serve Ms. Potts and Oakland Community Schools as part of our case. So really that's what we wanted to share today. I've asked our clients, who you all probably know by now. I told you about Trenton Buck, of course, Mr. Stewart to my right, Ken Carr, our attorneys, and Ms. Gregory Megan on behalf of Keegan, and of course Craig Schilling on behalf of his son Justin. We're not going to do prepared statements for them. They are here to answer your questions. I did want to give a shout out to Jill Suave, that is Justin's mom, who, I'm going to read this to you. I wouldn't normally, but I want you to know her thoughts today. Morning, Ven, I won't be able to attend today. It's just too traumatizing. Can you say something like this on my behalf? So yes, Jill, I am. Although there is nothing more important to me than seeking justice for Justin, these latest developments are extremely difficult to process and heartbreakingly unbearable to accept. The only comfort we have is knowing that finally, after 8 agonizing months, the truth is coming to light. I'm very grateful to the entire Ven Johnson Law Firm team for their dedication to ensure that it does. So, thank you, Jill. If you folks have questions, I'm happy to answer them. This case has taken so many twists and turns that in everyday lawsuits that never happen, and it seems to me that it's time that Oxford Community Schools steps up and does the right thing, but unfortunately after 8 months they haven't. So here's where we are. Who's got questions? Jim?
I'd like to hear from parents and the family in whatever order you guys would like to speak.
Well, we're going to do ladies first. Ms. Gregory? Megan?
You just want to hear our thoughts on it?
Yeah, what's your reaction to
So,
some information?
when my husband and I went, Chad and I went to see the video, and when we sat there, it was an absolute punch to the gut. Seeing her open the door, we looked at each other and we have not been the same since. It just truly shattered us. knowing that, I mean, Justin was still alive. We knew that because we compared the time on there to the text messages from our child. And just knowing that she literally opened the door and started to walk in. And it was almost like she stood there and turned around and walked out. It is truly just a punch to the gut. I mean, it hurts to the core this time.
Craig Schilling?
I went yesterday. I saw the video. I had to see it for myself to really get a good determination and just kind of, see if there was anything that stuck out that would have, alluded to something else that happened, that she got pulled away for something. But it's pretty evident on the video that wasn't the case. And I kind of feel like this is kind of like a poorly written movie here, or some kind of a candid TV show. And I'm looking for cameras, but I don't find them. It's difficult to know that he could still be here. If somebody did their job, and I was in the military. I honorable discharge, and I worked for the government, and you do your job, or else the next guy down the road can suffer bad consequence. It's not that difficult. You get paid to do a job. Why wouldn't you do it? It seems like maybe a comfy place like Oxford, when everything's all hunky-dory and it's all good, it's a nice place to be, and it's a nice place to work, I'm sure. But I think complacency and this not the right practice. You can't prepare for something like this, obviously, but you have to still maintain your guard. You have to walk that line, and you have to know the difference between right and wrong, and you have to do the job that people pay you to do, and it's just it's cut and dry as that right now. It's really unfortunate, and it's a really sad situation. I'm probably never gonna I'm never gonna be the same. But with this type of information out there, that it could have all been prevented. My son could still be here, and somebody was literally 5 feet away from being able to stop this. How? I really have a tough one. This is a really tough to swallow.
Thank you, Craig. We also have been told, if you will, our investigation discovery has revealed that Ms. Potts had a body cam, but did not have it on at the time of all these events, where obviously there would be complete knowledge of what was there to be seen coming from, if you will, the center of her chest, like body cams are. But she turned it on after these events. Buck? Or Trent, both?
Yeah, this is it's getting more and more frustrating by the day, as here we are 8 months later. Ben and his team finally gets to watch some video. The governmental immunity is it's throwing up all kinds of hurdles. For the frustrating part that we keep playing it through in our heads at home is, when the shooting started, first of all, it probably could have been avoided, right, with some information that we had, but we still can't get all that information up front because of governmental immunity, and we can't get all the stuff from the school because they're playing cover up. And then as the shooting is going on, as we just found out today, some things that could have been handled differently too, and lives saved, right? So you know, because of governmental immunity, the full-on cover-up is on. And this is a business transaction
To them.
to them, right? Doesn't matter that 4 lives were lost and hundreds of kids were traumatized, right? It's a business transaction, right? Instead of looking at this day and trying to drive and learn from it and drive some positive change out of it, they've done nothing in 8 months, right? What has our family done in 8 months? We've started a peer-to-peer mentoring program, right? We're doing something about it. We're addressing it. We believe that this is a big-time mental health issue. We're not going to take this down a wedge issue and talk about 2A, even though that's what our government wants us to do, because then nothing gets solved. That's exactly what they want us to do, is go down, let's take this down a wedge issue. And then the left and the right can fight over it. And meanwhile, 4 innocent lives were lost and nothing gets solved. It's sickening. Our community needs to stand up here. There's a really small group of people in our community that's trying to make a difference and trying to hold the school accountable and drive some change out of this. To hopefully this never happens again. And I know this hit close to home with everybody here in Oxford. What if it hit your home? What would you do about it? What if it hit your home? It hit 4 people's homes, along with countless others who were traumatized, but 4 kids were murdered. Hit 4 homes. Where's our community? Where's our community demanding answers, driving change? It's frustrating.
Thank you, Buck.
You know, I want to give a quick shout out to Judge Chabot. You know, that we're able to add Oxford schools to it and hopefully fight this governmental immunity. Thank you.
Buck.
Hey, Ben.
Sir.
Sorry, Ryan Marshall, WWJ News Radio.
Hey, Ryan.
We talked on Monday about the ruling that came down from Judge Chabot on Monday about the governmental immunity and how you felt like that was a victory, but you fully expected that this could be fought all the way up to Michigan Supreme Court.
It will.
If this doesn't come to pass where you get to have them stay as a party to the civil lawsuit, what next, especially for these families that are just trying to get some peace and some closure here?
Great question, Ryan. Now that Judge Chabot has allowed us to add as a party defendant Oxford Community Schools, we are suing them like we would if this shooting occurred at a private school, where they would have no governmental immunity. Sue them for negligence like we do in any case where someone's negligence causes injury. By doing that, we will be fighting another day, and it's going to be October, and I hope every one of you are in that courtroom with us with cameras ablazing, so you can hear how Mr. Mullins, on behalf of the Oxford Community School clients, will be saying, Judge, this case shouldn't even go to trial against Oxford Community Schools, as well as all of these individuals who work for them because of governmental immunity. And you'll get to hear about how, in other words, don't even go to trial, throw them out now. If we win, in other words, if she denies that motion, there's many different things that can happen, but let's just say that she says, Johnson, I let you add the Oxford Community Schools to the case, but case law and statute right now says you can't do it. So she dismisses them. Then she makes a decision on each and every one of the employees as if they have their own case against them. So she could throw some out, she could keep them all in, she can do whatever she believes the evidence shows. What's going to happen is any one of those or all those people who lose that motion, and if the judge were to say, no, you're not getting out, under governmental immunity, the state employees, or these employees of the municipality of Oxford, enjoy a right that not a single person in this room have. It's called the Rocket Docket. They have the absolute right to an automatic appeal to the Michigan Court of Appeals, meaning the Court of Appeals has to hear the case. In normal litigation, okay, in any other area of law under Michigan law, you don't have an automatic right of appeal. The automatic right of appeal comes after the jury verdict, and there's a judgment in favor or against whoever, and then you have an automatic right of appeal. Not when you're a governmental employee or a governmental institution, which is, to me, crooked, unfair, unconstitutional, whatever word you want to use. So in October, folks, there will be this monumental hearing where Judge Chabot gets to make that call as it relates to every Oxford employee, community schools employee, and the actual community schools itself. And again, if they lose anything, then they get to go to the Court of Appeals in the middle of a case. The whole case basically shuts down. We call it stay. So when you're on appeal, you can't do anything in the case. It'll be a year and a half, folks, before we have anything else on this case. That's why in governmental immunity cases, and I got Jeff Stewart, who's been practicing law longer than me, will tell you this, and Ken Cara, who knows this firsthand as well, that's why they file these motions, because it makes it delayed until a year and a half later, kick the can down the road. So I know it's a long lawyer answer, but what it boils down to is inherent unfairness that does not exist for any other people involved in litigation unless you're a governmental employee.
I encourage everyone on Zoom to ask questions via the Q&A feature. Ven, two for you from Jonathan Yinger, CBSL Flint. Does the video show exactly where Potts went after this?
Jonathan, the answer is it probably does, but to be fair to my clients, when I'm watching this for the first time and I'm trying to take notes and doing it in approximately 15 minutes, again, I'm not dogging anybody for the time frame. We need, one of many reasons why on behalf of our clients we've been fighting so hard to get this information is, folks, I have an obligation, we have experts. I want to give them all of these videos so that they can answer those questions. And this plain and simple answer is, I have not had enough time yet to analyze all of it. It probably does. These cameras are shooting all different ways throughout the school. And one of the things that I need to do, these folks are familiar with the school firsthand because they've been in it so many times. I've never been in it. So I'm going to take my office, my guys, and my experts, and we're going to go in, we call it doing an inspection. So I can tell you what bathroom 1 looks like. So I know when people talk about where Crumley was and where he had his backpack and where he got his gun and came out and turned left and so forth, I know exactly where it is. And then bathroom 2 that we all sadly know about, I have those answers as well. But plain and simple, answer probably, I have not had enough time with the video to tell you, or I would tell you. Sorry.
Second question from Jonathan. Isn't it customary for someone in leadership to get on the PA system to announce that this is not a drill?
I can't wait to find out, but you would think that the second there was a first shot, that any reasonable security or school person would certainly say, you know, shooter, 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 but that's one of many reasons why we're going to start taking depositions before this October hearing date. Judge has already granted our motion. The folks, Oxford, have tried to block us from doing that, as you folks know, and yet another motion that we've won where we fought and said, Judge, we should be able to, and Judge Chabot agreed with us. So I will have a lot more answers after those depositions.
Question from Courtney Bennett, NBC 25. Why did it take so long to view this video?
Courtney, precisely. That's my answer. In any other case, in 36 years of practice, I get the full police report, I get all videos, body cams, I get on-dash camera cams when they all pulled in, I get everything from the school, and it's because they are delaying it, is the answer.
Full on cover up, Ben.
Amen. I agree with you, Buck.
Follow-up, Courtney, from Courtney. Is Potts employed by the district or by the sheriff's office?
Great question. District, OCS, Oxford Community Schools. She's former. She is now gone. We are certainly investigating the circumstances. My understanding is that she was told literally at night, someday after school, we're no longer employing you. We've eliminated your job. and they went and hired some type of an independent security firm. I cannot confirm that. One of many reasons why I need the evidence, folks, so I can tell my clients exactly why she's not there, what the circumstances were. But when we take her deposition, we will certainly share with you what she says.
You had hinted a couple weeks ago you saw a second employee after you watched the video outside of court up in Oakland County. Who's this second employee and where does that stand?
The second in person that I was addressing, we do not have enough information at the current time, in my opinion, and it was my call, to file the case against them yet. So we need to investigate further, and as maybe you folks don't know, when you sue somebody, you do this for a living, I take that very seriously. I've been sued. I know what it feels like. It's not fun. So I don't do this lightly. And before I publicly make comments like I have against Ms. Potts, because I saw the video myself and I know what she did and didn't do, I feel comfortable obviously moving forward. This other individual, more information has come to me since I initially saw the video, and now we'll have to wait and see.
Also a school employee?
I'm not going to comment on that, Jim, sorry.
Question from Matt Farr, Oakland Press. Was Mr. Johnson the only person involved in the case that has seen the security footage, and how many of the family members have seen the footage?
Well, the answer is no. Again, thank you to the Oakland County prosecutor, but McDonald and Marquise. The offer has been made to all of our clients if they want to see the video, if they feel they can. As based on comments that you already heard, Megan and Chad Gregory went, Craig Schilling went, and Linda and the Mears, as of now, have said no. And so that's everybody's call. And as I told when we were fighting for the videos, a lot of you were present in the courtroom, that's one of the things that I said to the judge is this decision of seeing it or not is each individual client's right to say yes or no. But until I'm given it, okay, I don't know what to tell them about anything. I had no idea how the whole thing happened after months and months. So that's why it was important. And again, we will continue to fight to gain all evidence, which to this date, shockingly, I still don't even have a police report after 8 months. First time ever in 36 years of practice, after 8 months with a subpoena power, which means they are ordered to obey it. I don't have it. So we're fighting every day, aren't we? And I'm really blessed to have these guys. We have a number of members of our firm that are on what we call the Oxford team. This is an everyday, all-day situation.
Start to call for last questions, please. Question from Omar Jimenez, CNN. I know you only had a short time with the video, Ven, but how much time elapsed after Potts walked away from the bathroom to the point it appears shots were fired? Are we talking a matter of seconds after she closed the door and started to walk away?
Knowing Megan Gregory, she probably timed it,
I did,
but over a minute. Correct, Megan?
correct.
Any other questions from those in the room or via Zoom?
Just want to say again, thanks to all of our clients for being here. This is incredibly difficult for them, obviously. We'd ask you to respect their privacy. If you have any further inquiries, please go through Near Perfect Media, and we'll make sure that we're making us available as much as possible. Please continue to cover these court proceedings. I promise you they are things that have never, ever occurred in many people's lawyers' lives. And we strongly believe in getting to the bottom, so at least we can share with our clients. Last thing I want to say before I let you ask you a question, not let you speak. Sorry, sir, my bad choice of words. Judge Chabot said something that I want you folks to know, and what she said was about a month ago. I put myself in the place of these parents, which is obviously incredibly difficult to do because we'll never truly understand their suffering. But all I can think about is they're getting ready to see 2 criminal trials, one on behalf against Ethan Crumley and the other one on behalf of the parents. And they're going to be hearing about what happened to their child for the first time in front of cameras and in front of a jury. So that's why we take such great umbrage with how this has been handled, especially by the school district. They shouldn't have to do this. This should be information that should be forthcoming, and I know I will speak on behalf of them. Those that still have kids in school, you can imagine how difficult that is to think about, sending your kid back to a school where this information still leaks out only because of our digging and they're covering it up. Sir?
Last question. Thank you, Ven.
Thank you, sir. When will the video ever be made public?
That's a great question. I don't have an answer. I will tell you that Judge Chabot has made it abundantly clear that when it does become available to me, which it hasn't yet, there will be a protective order, and the only way that you get a protective order is if judge signs it and says this is the deal, and then you can't break it. In other words, I can't make that public unless I like the Oakland County Jail, and I've never been inside of it, but I don't think I would. So I would be forbidden from sharing it. And then after the criminal trial, I would think it will go at least until the criminal trial, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly. Then it would be up to you folks probably, right, to fight that battle, because it is a public document. But there are obviously some safety concerns relative to what other folks out there could do with it. And I guess my thought is, of course, that's for a judge to take care of, not me, but I'll do everything possible to be as transparent with anything that I can release as I have from day one in this case. Anybody else? Mr. Trent, you want to say anything? You good?
I'm good.
Buck?
Nope, we're good.
Mr. Stewart? Thank you. Ms. Carr? Thank you. Ms. Gregory?
I want to say thank you, since you have gotten us all the information that we are trying to get, and I hope people do understand the magnitude of what actually happened, and that it is haunting.
Thank you. Greg?
No, thanks, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's press conference.
Mr. Stewart, thank you for the pen.